Okay, we are live now.
Should I start?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
A very good morning, everyone. On behalf of Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, R.S. Mundle Dharampet Arts and Commerce College, Nagpur, and MKLM's B.K. Amlani's College of Commerce and Economics, Mumbai, I, Sujata Chakravarti, Head, Department of English, Dayanand College, welcome our esteemed resource persons, Dr. Hitesh Ravia, Vice Dean, Faculty of Arts, and Professor and Head, Department of English, the MS University of Baroda, Vadodara, and Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, Faculty, ELT, Pilani, Hyderabad, and chairpersons of the two sessions, Dr. Zedan Patil, President of LTI Pune chapter, and former Professor and Head, Department of Training and Development, FLU, Hyderabad, and Dr. Urmila Dabir, Honorable Chairperson, Board of Studies, English, RTM Nagpur University, and Principal Rajkumar Kevalramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, and all our dear virtual participants to today's national webinar on teaching, learning, and ICT. I also welcome Principal of Dayanand College, Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, Principal of Dharampet College, Dr. Rajiv Ashtikar, and Principal of MKLM's Amlani College, Dr. Jitendra Ahirkar, and my fellow convener, Dr. Manjushi Sardesh Pandey, to today's national conference, and Entflight Learn, who have provided us with the necessary technical support for this webinar. Our co-host and organizer, Entflight Learn, is an innovative learning management solution tailored for Indian educators. From hosting live e-lectures to assessment, attendance, and teachers' own content library, the platform captures complexities of online teaching to one simple solution. We are immensely thankful for the overwhelming response to today's webinar. Webinar is a term which was hitherto not used much. It came into existence in the 1990s. A trademark for the term webinar with the first three letters capitalized was registered in 1998 by Eric R. The present world scenario has suddenly catapulted the term into importance. The pandemic caused by the virus COVID-19 has necessitated a worldwide lockdown, wherein life seemingly came to a standstill. Forced to stay indoors, people found ways of not only staying in touch, but conducting serious work and conferences online in the forms of webinar. For us academicians, webinars have become the norm of the day, a platform to exchange ideas, learn new things, and above all, attend conferences conducted in faraway places. And I'm sure that webinars have come not only to stay, but compel policymakers think of such platforms as a welcome alternative to the normal organization of seminars and congregations. So here we are today with a one-day national webinar on teaching, learning, and ICT. Educational literature identifies several instructional principles essential to fostering learning with ICT, such as contextual learning, active learning, social learning, and reflective learning. Since the ways teachers are taught relate strongly to the ways they later teach, this webinar seeks to explore teachers' use of ICT as university students and their perception of the potential for ICT in higher education. It is seen that while teachers exploit ICT for their own learning, they are cautious about integrating advanced technologies into teaching as such. Teachers value the potential of technology for making the process of teaching relevant to pupils' real-life contexts and for stimulating their learning. But do not think that ICT is preferable to class-based instruction in terms of promoting cooperation and reflection processes in learning. Our renowned resource persons and chairpersons will deliberate on this topic to make matters clearer. I now request Principal Dr. Jitendra Ahirkar to deliver his welcome note. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, one and all present here. A hearty warm welcome from Mumbai University as well as BL Amlani Women's College of Commerce and Economics. At the outset of this national webinar, I would like to congratulate both the colleges, Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya R.S. Mundle Dharampet Arts and Commerce College, Nagpur. Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, Principal of Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya. Dr. Rajiv Astikar, Principal R.S. Mundle Dharampet College, Nagpur. The two conveners, pillar of this conference, Dr. Sujata Chakravarti, Dr. Manjushri Sarvesh Pandey. A little brief about my college. Our college is a women's college in University of Mumbai, resided in Juhu Vileparla. It's the only women's residential college in University of Mumbai with 1,000 girls residing in the university campus. The college is traditional commerce and arts college, along with the only one aviation and engineering college under University of Mumbai. We keep on holding conferences and seminars every month, along with the collaborative efforts of other states. And fortunately, last week I met through a webinar Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, and it was her brainchild that we will do a webinar in collaboration with our college. We keep on hosting with other universities as well as with other colleges too. This is the way we collaborate and grow as per the UGC norm and as per NAC guidelines. With this, I declare the conference is open. Over to Sujata ma'am.
Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, Principal Dayanand College, to deliver her welcome note now.
Namaskar. I, Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, Principal Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya, heartily welcome to all respected resource persons, Dr. Hitesh Raya of Arts and Professor Head of English, the MS University of Baroda, and Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, Faculty ELT BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, and chairpersons of the two session, Dr. Z.N. Patil, President of ELTAI Pune chapter and retired professor and head Department of Training and Development, EFLU, Hyderabad, and Dr. Urmila Dabir, Chairman, Board of Studies, English, RTM Nagpur University, and Principal Rajkumar Keval Ramani, Kanya Mahavidyalaya. Madam, we are proud you are from Nagpur. And all our virtual friends to today's national webinar on Amlani College of Commerce and Economics, MR. Nathwani College of Arts, Vileparle, Mumbai. To have been Nagpur, very since COVID-19 virus, ever since the educationist. But as it is said that where there is a will, there is a way. We can communicate and share our knowledge through ICT tools. However, a remedy of a sort has been found in online mode of education. Therefore, come together, overcoming physical boundaries. The present webinar has been planned to have discussion on the current prevalent scenario caused by the pandemic. First, I will give brief intro of my college. Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya is a premier education institution for women in Nagpur, run on the principle of Swami Dayanand Saraswati and advocates of women rights and education. The college was established in 1983 by Arya Vidya Sabha, philanthropic body of people who run institutions from KG to PG and providing value-based education and doing their utmost for the upliftment of women. Our patrons firmly believe in the proverb that if you educate a man, you educate a person. But if you educate a woman, you can educate entire family. The college run under graduate programs in arts and commerce, along with the post-graduation in Hindi and MA, economics, with many short-term courses and have PMKY center. The college is recognized under 2F and 12B of UGC and is affiliated to Rashtra Sant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. The college has been accredited with B grade by NAC in its third scale. The webinar will examine the various avenues of the process of teaching and learning and how ICT can help academicians overcome the problem they are facing. The resource person and the chairpersons will certainly throw light on the matter. I especially thanks to Dr. Jitendra Aherkar sir and his entire team to give us this platform. Thank you, Jitendra sir. At the last, I want to say that nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Don't stress yourself. Too much become no matter. How can be the situation is? It will change. इतना ही मालूम है इस जीवन का सार बंद नहीं होना चाहिए उम्मीदों के द्वार, बंद नहीं होना चाहिए उम्मीदों के द्वार। बदल जाओ वक्त के साथ, बदल जाओ वक्त के साथ या वक्त बदलना सीख लो। आज खुद ही थाम लेते हैं आईसीटी का पतवार। चलो नई जिंदगी की शुरुआत करते हैं, चलो नई जिंदगी की शुरुआत करते हैं। कोविड-19 पर विजय पाकर अपने देश की शिक्षा स्तर को आगे बढ़ाते हैं, अपने देश की शिक्षा स्तर को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। Hope we all have fruitful webinar. Stay home, stay safe. Now, I request Dr. Rajiv Ashtikar sir, principal of RS Mundle College, say some few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. I take this proud privilege on behalf of RS Mundle Dharampet Arts and Commerce College to welcome you all to this national webinar. RS Mundle Dharampet College, which has accredited with A grade by NAC in its third cycle, is a premier and one of the leading colleges of Central India. We have always taken an initiative in trying various innovative methods of teaching and learning. Our Department of English has a rich legacy, has had dynamic teachers like Dr. Mahesh Ilkunchwar, Professor Sunil Subedar, Professor Pandri Pandey, and Dr. Sandhya Nair. We are proud to state that the department has produced merit students at the BA and MA level and are well placed in society. The college also has a research center for English. Digital literacy is a new step forward. Though we have already begun in this direction, this corona crisis has made it imperative to take a full-fledged tongue in digital literacy. Our students from difficult background need to be taken into consideration, and this webinar will rightly suggest ways and means to move ahead in this direction. I congratulate Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande, convener of this webinar, head of the Department English, for organizing this webinar. I extend my best wishes to the colleges who are in collaboration, Dayanand Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya and MKLM's BL Malani College of Commerce and Economics for a successful venture. I extend my gratitude to ITFLA for providing us with platform and technical support. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It is my proud privilege now to introduce the first resource person, Dr. Hitesh Ravia, who is at present Vice Dean, Faculty of Arts, and Professor and Head, Department of English, Chairman, Board of English Language and Literature, the Director, Communication Skills Officer on Special Duty Recruitment in the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, Vadodara, and proud to say, my alma mater. He has had an illustrious academic career. Professor Ravia has a total of 23 academic years of teaching experience at the college university level, including 15 academic years of PG teaching. He has been serving as a PhD and MPhil guide supervisor since 2009. He has successfully guided 22 PhD and MPhil students, has 32 of his research papers published in UGC recognized peer-reviewed journals with ISSN numbers. He has got 20 books published from the renowned international publishers, and his textbooks have been prescribed in the syllabus of many universities of Gujarat and other states as well. He has participated in various training courses, teaching, learning, evaluation, technology, faculty development programs organized by Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding, UNESCO, Korea and Bhutan National Commission for UNESCO, and several states too. He has presented 45 research papers in international and national conferences and seminars so far. He has delivered 133 invited lectures at international and orientation, more than 18 technical sessions at international and national conferences and seminars and workshops and so on. He has been actively engaged in serving as an editor, reviewer in many UGC recognized and peer-reviewed journals with ISSN. And I can go on about his academic career. He has also served as a VC nominee, subject expert in various bodies, members of the Senate, and other bodies of importance. Sir, I welcome you to deliver your talk today on rethinking higher education in India in post-pandemic world. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Sujata, Principal Jitendra ji, Dr. Shraddha ji, Dr. Rajiv ji, and all the experts who are here on the platform. Special thanks to Dr. Patil, who is always dear and near to my heart and expert in ELT. And now, without wasting time, I'll start with our today's topic. And as you know, it has been discussed that the topic is rethinking higher education in India in post-pandemic world. Look, all of us know it very well that COVID-19 has completely changed the educational scenario of higher education in India. Though from 20th century, the definition of teaching and learning have started changing, but the COVID-19 and the post-pandemic world that we see will have altogether different higher education scenario in India and all over the world. However, I will restrict my discussion in the context of India only. Look, it has been proved now that anything can change at any point of time. Nobody thought that COVID-19 will create such a pandemic and such tense situation in socially, politically, economically, everywhere. Before COVID-19, there were many attempts by UGC, MHRD for reformation of the education. We know it very well that the teaching and learning in 21st century is not the teaching and learning which was there in 19th or 20th century. Look, what I feel that this COVID has hit has influenced not only economic sector but also education as well. So in order to fight against COVID, MHRD and UGC has initiated many digital platforms, many online platforms, but the task is not very easy. We know it very well that India is a different country and education for all is always the target. And it was never possible for India, it was never possible for the government to reach each and every corner of a village and town so far as better education is concerned. But with now, there is a possibility that we can think of border higher education in the coming years. We know it very well that schools and colleges are closed for more than 2 months now. In spite of that, many colleges, many initiatives, they are trying their level best to reach to their students. So this is an exercise. This is the first step towards digitalization of education. UGC, MHRD, UNESCO, all of them have tried their level best. But the issue is that is teaching online is as it was teaching with the blackboard work, or is teaching online is for all the students, is teaching online is for all the teachers? These are some of the questions that we have to think, because ICT and teachers are two sides of one coin in 21st century. But we know it very well that there are many teachers, there are many students in India who have not access to internet. They don't have access to ICT. Plus, we have never thought that ICT is a skill that will be required by all the teachers. Though it was anticipated at the end of the 20th century that those teachers who will not adapt, those teachers who will not change, those teachers who will not acquire new skills, they will be redundant in 21st century. And that we are witnessing now. I'm really very sorry to say that I have seen that many teachers and many students have disappeared in the last 3 months. What you see in the screen, what you see on the Facebook, what you see in the Zoom, what you see in the Google Classroom are only those teachers and only those students who are adept and those who have basic ICT skills. So what I feel that there is a kind of digital divide now. There will be a digital divide between those who know ICT and there will be those who do not know ICT. Meaning thereby, whether we like it or not, all the students and all the teachers will be required to adapt, will be required to sharpen their ICT skills. So, in this context, in my presentation, I would like to throw some light on how ICT can bring changes, how ICT can bring changes in the education, and how it can affect teaching and learning. Though it has been known to all, still, I would like to very briefly say that what do you mean by ICT? ICT means information and communication technology. We have been using ICT and technology since 70s, but in 21st century, we see that there is a kind of mushrooming of ICT technologies all over the world. From morning till evening, even from morning till we go to bed, we use different types of ICT tools, whether you have mobile, computers, games, your modems, MP3, printer, camera, flash driver, radio. The list is so long. The, we cannot think without ICT in this 21st century. Your notebooks, your tablet, your shopping, each and every aspect of our life has been influenced by ICT. Now, if each and every aspect of our life has been influenced by ICT, it is needless to say that teaching and learning has already been affected by ICT. Look, as a teacher, we must realize that what was teaching in 20th century is not teaching today. What was learning in 20th century is not learning today. That means because of ICT, because of internet, because of the expansion of the information and knowledge that we have on the web, the entire definition of teaching and learning, and even the roles of the teachers have changed completely. I think this is an alarming situation for all the teachers, those who have still not understood that the entire world has changed because of the introduction of ICT. In a quite short period of time, ICT has made tremendous changes. And what are the changes that we have to learn? Look, personally, I feel that those who are students of 20th century and teaching in 21st century, that means those teachers who are in 30s, those teachers who are in 40s and 50s, they have to be more cautious because our learning was made in 20th century and we are in teaching in 21st century. When we became teacher, there was no ICT and we are teaching when ICT is surrounded by earth. That means there is a shift from knowledge transmitter to learning facilitator. Earlier, teacher was the primary source of information. Teacher was whole and soul of the classroom. Teacher was controlling the classroom and it was a pin drop classroom. But now teacher has become a kind of learning facilitator. He is like a collaborator. He is like a coach. He is like a knowledge navigator. Look, we have to create learning condition in the classroom and we have to become co-learner. That means if you are teacher centered, it will not work. Another change that we see in this digital era, earlier teacher used to control the entire classroom. He used to direct all aspects of learning, whereas now students have more options, they have more responsibilities of learning, and self-learning is more crucial than teaching. That means the changing role of teacher is no longer all-knowing authority. It is quite possible that before you enter in the classroom, your students might have learned everything what you are about to start. Earlier, students used to be heavily dependent on teachers, classroom teaching, notebooks, class notes. But now, students of 21st century doesn't require teacher for that because with one command, with one click, everything is available to them. UGC and MHRD has started many platforms like EPG Pathshala, Digital Classroom. With the help of Google Classroom, all over world, there is a flood of knowledge or information. That means if teacher still thinks that I am the all-knowing authority, I think we have to rethink our mind. And that is why the basic shift that we have seen is earlier it was only transformation of information in the classroom. Now we see that there is active participation in the learning process, producing knowledge. Yes, but at the same time, it is the duty of the teacher to see that we have to train our learners to know what is right and what is wrong. So it is a kind of collaborative learning. We know it very well that these days we use Google, email, Wikipedia, Zoom, Google, Facebook. There is a long list that there are many gadgets that we have been using. But this is the time when teachers have to start using these gadgets for the teaching and learning. Generally, it has been observed, and research has proved that most of the teachers use different gadgets only for personal use. But now, this is the high time. Look, for example, this webinar, and the series of webinars that we have seen in the last month is an example that how we have changed. And maybe it's quite possible that even after the normal situation, there will not be a seminar like eating, drinking together. We will have only webinars. So that means now teacher has to realize that teaching is not only in the classroom. Earlier, teacher was very restricted to the classroom. The timings of the college, timing of the schools, everything was fixed. That means if I'm a teacher between 11 and 5 or from 8 to 1. But now it's not so. Teacher is 24 by 7. Teacher has to realize that there is a world beyond the classroom. Teaching and learning is not restricted to the classroom only. 10 years back, the duty of the teacher or the job of the teacher was 5 to 6 hours. But today, job and accountability of the teachers is 24 by 7. If we are not connected to our learners, if we are not connected to our students, then I don't think we will survive as a teacher. I have been telling it and I will tell it again that those teachers who use only chalk and talk method will not survive after 10 years. Teachers have to unlearn certain things and they have to learn. And that is why we have this digital divide. Even in the staff room, even in the college, in the campus, in the department, you will realize that there are two types of teachers now, one who are having skills and one who do not have skills. And obviously, any field, whether you are a teacher or doctor or engineer, ICT is must. ICT is considered as one of the essential soft skills even by UNESCO. So if everything has changed, we have to realize that even the skills that we require to teach has also changed. Look, we have to realize that the information in this digital era is getting doubled up. I'll take only 2 minutes to read this. It's a very small story, but the story is very crucial in order to understand when everything is getting doubled up, what will happen after 10 years, we don't know. In order to realize that what will be the influence of ICT, because every year, every day, everything is getting doubled up. So this is a small story. I'll read out for you, and you can also read it along with me to see that each year the world's store of information almost doubles that of year before. Today, there are more than 2 crore sites which talk about e-learning. So if today it is 2 crore, after 5 years, it will be 20 or 25 crores different sites. So in order to understand, it's a very small story. You know, one day the Persian king was very happy with the courtier and he asked him that I'm very happy and you can take away whatever you want. So the courtier said that I want only 1000 uh, 1024 of grains. That means, I mean, on the first day it was first, then second, then third. You know, if you put it on the chessboard and if things getting doubled up, by the time you reach to 32nd square, there are only 1024 grains. But by the time you complete all the box, it is in millions and billions. So in short, what I mean to say is that whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, but everything is changing. So in this context, we have to realize that students need new skills. While teaching language, teaching literature, or any subject, we have to bring in certain skills which are required in the teacher, which are required in the students. Students need to develop information literacy and other skills. That means if I teach Shakespeare today, and if I teach only text, if I teach only play, the way in which I was taught by my teacher, then I don't think my students will appreciate my teaching. Look here, there is no attempt to offense our teachers. Today, whatever we are, it is because of them. But at the same time, we must realize that our role models of 20th century will not survive, or our students will not appreciate the way in which we appreciated our teachers. To give you a simple example, that when we were students, our teacher used to dictate in the classroom notes and pages. If we do the same thing now, I don't think our students will appreciate it. Why? Because my students don't require me to tell them that Shakespeare has written 36 plays. My students don't require me to tell where Shakespeare was born, how many plays he was written, what are the types of play. Try to understand that they have everything before they enter into the classroom. So the way in which we teach the text is also to be changed, meaning thereby that there are certain skills for 21st century, and learning is different in 21st century. and teaching is different in 21st century. So which are these skills? Which are the skills that we are required to teach them? The first and foremost is learning and innovation skill. I always ask my teachers and my fellow that never claim to teach. It is really very difficult to teach in a classroom. Rather than that, it is very easy to create the situation of learning, because self-learning is better than imposed teaching. And when we say learning and innovation skills, what do you mean by learning and innovation skills? That is creativity and innovation. Look, we as teachers have to realize that post-pandemic world will be a different world. By the time our colleges and schools will reopen after 3 or 4 months, almost all the students, particularly younger generation, they must have got a lot of exposures from all over the world. My students are doing certificate course on innovation skills from University of Cambridge and Oxford. Try to understand all over world MOOC courses, online courses are available free of cost to many students. That means now students learn on their own. Now students learn, they develop the skills even without going in a school and college in a formal way. We can't stop that. But that doesn't mean that the role of the teacher is over. What I mean to say is that the role of teacher has changed. And whatever subject we are teaching, we have to bring in creativity and innovation. Creativity is the first skill that is required in 21st century, because creativity is the source of knowledge. Then comes critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration. Because 21st century is the century of skills. 21st century is the century of knowledge. If we train our students and if we teach our students in a traditional manner, then I have a fear that they might have a mark sheet, they might be having a degree, but their employability skills will be very low, because there are complaints from industry, there are complaints from sectors that even those students who complete their master's degree, they are not able to communicate well in the industry. Most of the engineers that we produce today are not, what you can say, employable. There are reports and research that 90% of the engineers that we produce today, they don't have basic skills, and that is why their degree becomes redundant. So India is facing altogether a different challenge, because number of population, number of people, number of students, it is at a higher level. And at the same time, we provide education in a traditional manner. I'm very sorry to say, but it has been proved that most of the colleges and universities, we produce degree holders. We don't produce skill-based students. So that is why information, media, technology skills, information literacy, media literacy, ICT literacy, everything is essential. Imagine those teachers and those students who are not good at ICT skill, they are not able to enjoy webinars. I'm sorry to say, but I've seen many teachers all over India, all over state, even in my university, that they are not in a position to connect themselves to these ICT skills. And that is why they are in the margin. So today, we will have a new kind of divide, which I have already discussed, that to know digital skills and to not to digital skills. With this, another factor which is very crucial for the teachers, that in the coming years in our higher education, we have to change our syllabus. UGC has already recommended learning based outcome syllabus. We have to realize that as per the recommendation of UGC and MHRD, it is a duty of each and every university to prepare new syllabus. And that new syllabus is based on life and career skills. We have to find out, we have to correlate as a teacher of English, whatever the discipline, whether it is a sociology, philosophy, Hindi, we have to interconnect our text and our syllabus with life and career skills. That means if I'm teaching a particular text, it is my duty as a teacher to also connect these skills to the text. So flexibility, adaptability, cross-cultural skills. We also have to teach our students to respect different cultures, accountability, leadership skills, responsibility skills, etc. These are the basic skills that we have to bring in our syllabus. Information literacy, media literacy, and ICT literacy, they are more or less interconnected. Digital literacy, e-literacy, new literacy, you say screen literacy, multimedia literacy, information literacy, these are different names with slight difference, but more or less everything falls under the big umbrella that is called ICT. And it is our duty as a teacher to acquire these skills. It is our duty to see that our students also learn these skills. So, very briefly, what do you mean by digital literacy? Look, any students or any teacher who is able to screen read, who is able to surf internet, who can use text, keyboard, locating and evaluating information, use of different ICT tools to create and sharing information. Like, for example, see that I am right now at Baroda and I am sharing the information from home. Now, 10 years back, if somebody would have said that there is a possibility of seminar and all the experts will be from different parts of India and anybody can enjoy this kind of webinar in any corner of the world, then we would have laughed it. Imagine 20 years back, suppose somebody would have told that with the help of one smartphone or one instrument, you can talk to somebody anywhere, we would have laughed it. Try to understand that in 10 years, everything is changed. So digital literacy has become essential part of our life. And that is why it is a duty of 21st century to acquire and to teach them. So navigate through skills of information. Look, at the same time, there are different stages of ICT adoption. I do understand that acquiring or getting mastery over digital skills and ICT skill is not everybody's cup of tea. It requires attempt, it requires motivation, it requires confidence to learn it. Everything is possible to learn, and if we will not learn, we will not survive. So at the same time, look, in India, situation is different. There are many classrooms, there are many colleges where basic facility is not there. I do agree that it is very easy to talk about ICT in higher education sitting in an air-conditioned office or a chamber. The real situation is also not very good in education, and that is why this webinar is. So there are different stages where we use and we adapt ourselves. Look, basically there are 4 stages of adoption and use of ICT. First is emerging stage, where we connect to the technology, we learn how to use laptop, we learn how to use different gadgets. Then second is applying. Look, applying technology, I'm sure that many of you might be using Zoom for the first time in this month. I'm sure that 90% of the teachers and students, we never used Zoom technology or this platform last month. But all of a sudden, we have started using Google Classroom, Microsoft Classroom, Zoom, and we have started delivering online classes because it was requested by UGC, it was requested by MHRD. So see that even one situation has created an opportunity to sharpen our skills. So once you start applying technology, then you try to infuse pedagogy with technology, and then there is a transformation completely. So in short, when you are in emerging state, it is first you learn about ICT and then you teach and with ICT. Look, there is a difference between knowing ICT, learning ICT, to have knowledge of ICT, and teaching with ICT. All of us use emails, we use WhatsApp, we use Facebook, we use internet, we use computer, desktop, smartphone, everything. We have been using it for more than 10 years. But how to use the same technology for teaching and learning, that is what we have to understand. So in an emerging state, teacher and students, they become aware of ICT. Then teachers learn how to use ICT in a subject teaching, and then teacher understand how and when use ICT, and then teachers and students, they become specialized in the use of ICT. Once it happens, when you use ICT for teaching, in the emerging stage, you apply productivity tools, you start using experiment with small groups, and then you enhance your traditional teaching. Look, teacher is a lifelong learner. It has been taught to me that teaching starts in the womb and it ends in the tomb. So teacher is always a learner. I never claim myself that I have completed my learning, because each day is a learning, and we learn from our students, we learn from our colleagues, we learn from our teachers, fellow, anybody. Learning is a lifelong process. So we enhance our traditional teaching, and we have to try to incorporate digital technology in our teaching. And then when there is infusing stage, that is a third stage, you facilitate learning using multimodal instructions, and then creating and managing innovation and open learning environment. So all these years we have been using ICT, but this is the time to start using ICT for teaching purpose. Look, assessment has also changed. I don't know how many universities and how many colleges have completed the exam, and how are we going to conduct our exam. It's quite possible that all of us have to conduct exam online. We have to do our assessment online, because there is no surety. And even if we are in a position to conduct the physical example this year, I'm damn sure that after 3 years, after 4 years, each teacher will have to assess his or her students on a digital platform. The way in which we conduct the exam with pen and paper, students sitting in a classroom, doing supervision, these are the scenario only for the next 4 or 5 years. Those who are in the teaching profession, you take my words that after 5 years, all the universities and colleges will be conducting online exam. We have already started online exam for NET, for NEET, many competitive exam. We don't have pen and paper. So even our degree examination, we know it very well that recently UGC has allowed 2, 3 universities to start even online courses. Now my point is that if our university today starts online MA and BA English, or all the courses which are available under the traditional education, why students will attend the university? This is a very serious question I'm posing before you, because I can foresee that after 5 years, all the courses that we are offering in a traditional mode in a classroom, the same courses available through online. Does it mean the students are not required in the university? Does it mean the teachers are not required? No. My point is that teachers will be part of that online education, because even if it is online education, creating e-content, creating online tasks, checking of online assessment, everything will be made by teachers, but by teachers who know the skills, meaning thereby that only those teachers who will have these skills will survive in the coming years. Look, technology is changing, everything is changing. So just for a lighter mode, this is a cartoon that due to recent technological advances, everything I taught you about computers is no longer valid. It's quite possible that whatever I have talked, whatever we are discussing, after 2 years, because of the advancement of new technology, everything will be redundant. Yes, but there are issues as well. Too much use of technology in the classroom, too much use of technology for teaching and learning also has bad effect. And one of the bad effect which I see, that somehow the ability of critical thinking gets lost among the learners. So this is a cartoon, that just to click on criticalthinking.com for your answer. So in short, what I mean to say is that that in the coming years, the teacher has to realize that it should be a learner-centered approach and not teacher-centric classes. What was teaching earlier is not teaching now. And that is why it is essential that we develop different e-portfolios and e-resources. Look, there are many e-portfolios available, ready-made. Teacher can also make e-portfolios. In the beginning, whatever courses, whatever papers you are teaching, you can create your own e-portfolios. You can create your own e-learning platform for your students. In short, there should be a bridge between a teacher and learner whereby he can share the information. If you think that you will share the information with your students only in the classroom, then it will not work. There can be any platform. It may be Google Classroom, it may be Moodle, it may be WhatsApp group, it may be Facebook group. In short, it is the duty of the teacher to connect to the students. Because if teaching doesn't take in the classroom, that doesn't mean teaching has stopped. UNESCO is also doing a lot of things. This is a screenshot of UNESCO website. Those who are interested in ICT in education, I request that you please go to the UNESCO web page. UNESCO has created many links, many teaching material for the students as well as teachers. This is another gateway to 21st century skills. There are many gateways available for the students and teachers. We know it very well that UGC and MHRD has also started EPG Pathshala, MOOC, online Arpit courses. So in short, what I feel that in the beginning, if teacher cannot create his or her own ICT tools is okay, but at least we can visit UGC website, we can use digital initiatives, we can use digital initiatives by MHRD, UNESCO, and we can bring change in our teaching and learning. I think I have 3-4 more minutes. I will not take much of your time. Very quickly, look, I think that this is very interesting that all the teachers should have Kindle. I personally request that all teachers must purchase it because it is like our small library. You can see the size of Kindle is like a passport, and you can have 1400 books in your Kindle in your pocket, and the price of Kindle is not more than 5 or 6,000, which every teacher can afford. Uh, so in short, this is the time of blended learning, and with Web 2.0, it may be Facebook, it may be Moodle, it may be Link, Blue, Podcast, YouTube, Moodle, everything we can bring in. But at the same time, before I conclude, I would like to tell that nobody can replace teachers. Look, without teacher, without that personal touch that teacher have in the classroom, it is very difficult to use only ICT tools. My intention is just to shed light only on one aspect, that the accountability of the teachers and the roles of the teachers in the post-pandemic world would be different, because we are already in the digital era, and those teachers who will not change their skills, those teachers who will not learn new things will not survive. And therefore, we have to rethink and relearn about our teaching and learning. With this, due to constraint of time, I'll take, I think that I will conclude my speech and I will hand over to Sujata Chakrabarti. And if there are any questions and answer, I'm available to answer that. Please, Sujata ji.
Thank you, sir. That was a very enlightening talk, and there are many appreciated remarks in the YouTube chat box, and a few questions as well. One question is from Dr. Vandana Pathak, former head of department English, LAD College, very prestigious college of Nagpur. Her question is, the Cambridge University will have all online sessions from 2021. Our people are ill-equipped. How do we forge ahead?
Look, personally, I think that to say that our people are illiterate, I will not agree to it, because
not illiterate, ill-equipped. She says ill-equipped.
Ill-equipped because most of the governments have now given what you can say, laptop facility to most of the initiatives. And even I do agree that it is assumed that 40 to 50, I do agree with her that getting education through ICT is not possible in India for all the learners. First of all, I'll agree to it because as per the research, in India, 47% people, I repeat my words, 47% people have access to internet. That means right now, out of those 47, only 10% or 5% people are using internet for teaching and learning. But with smartphone, with geo technologies, with government initiatives, I think that smartphone and internet will become a common commodity in the coming years. It will not be a luxury. I think even today also, smartphone and having facility of internet is not a luxury. Now, if you have a smartphone only, and if you have facility of internet, the entire world is in your phone. So I think that with little more encouragement and proper guidance, we can train them to have learning on their own, or what you can say borderless education, only with the help of mobile. Even money is not required because many universities are offering most of the courses free of cost. I do agree with her that very good facility of ICT, internet, gadgets is yet to be done, and that is a challenge so far as India is concerned, where we have lakhs and crores of the students. I think that
Yeah. Another question, sir, from one Mr. Ranjit Kumar. He says, online is good, but where is the dynamic process of learning and what is the fate of teacher educators?
look, for example, I mean, many teachers and students ask this question that, sir, do you think that the roles of the teacher or the way in which we exist today will not be there after 10, 15 years? Personally, I feel that the way in which we are holding a position now in the university and college will certainly be changed. 50% of the colleges, I repeat my words, 50% of the colleges who are imparting traditional education of BA, BCom, BSc will not survive after 10 years. Meaning thereby, the teachers have to change their roles. Teachers will become e-content manager, teacher will become subject matter expert, and we have to actively participate in the role of changing scenario. If you think that you will teach only in the classroom, if students get admission, and if students get admission, I will teach, those days are gone. Because because every day, every year, number of students are decreasing because of online education. But there will be a demand of teachers who are good at ICT skills. Today also, many universities are looking for good teachers. So it is changing, we are changing from one phase to another phase. Teachers remains teachers. Even a Vedic time, teacher was required, Guru Drona was required that time, and Guru Drona is required even today. But the way in which in ashram shala we used to teach, we cannot teach now. Similarly, there will be a new institute, everything will do, but it will take at least 15 to 20 years for complete transformation. But yes, those who are very young teachers and those who are in the system for likely to be in the system for 25 to 30 years, they have to rethink about their profession, they have to rethink about their skills.
Yes, sir. Similar kind of questions by people. Pinali Badher, Preeti Trivedi, Achal Parekh. They want to know, what about those who are unable to afford technology? What about the rural area students?
Look, madam, I'm very sorry to say that, I mean, I'm also worried about it. For example, right now, standard 10th has begun, and in Kashmir, there is no facility of internet. And there are complaints from Kashmir in many parts. The students don't have internet at all. Students do not have a mobile phone at all. So, online education, unfortunately, is not for all in India. Those who are in villages, those who do not have facility, government is trying its level best, but traditional education is going on. There is no comparison. I don't want to say that those learners who have online education can only prove to be a better. I think it is a myth. Like all the teachers, like senior teachers like Professor Patil, me, Sujata ji, all of us have studied without internet, and still we are a good teachers or a good professional. What I mean to say is that ICT and internet and ICT enabled education can push you a little more. But that doesn't mean that if there is no internet or no ICT, education or teaching cannot place place, because ICT has emerged only in the 10, 15 years. And we have the process of teaching and learning has been going on for years. So, but yes, with advancement, you have a better option. But I think sooner or later, it will be available to all. I think government of India, Delhi, everywhere we are seeing change. Though change is not very visible, but most of the schools and colleges now have basic facility. It will take time. I fully agree with them that it's not easy in India, because even internet is not for all in India at present.
And one last question, sir. Do you think vernacular medium students would cope up with the ICT education?
Look, personally, I feel that it will be very difficult unless we have everything available in vernacular language, but it's not going to happen. Look, I don't want to bring language politics here, but we know it very well. Then even after independence, we had issues of languages regarding national language, Hindi and all. Look, unfortunately, even after independence, we don't have one language. I mean, our own language except English. Unfortunately, in India, with such a diversity, different culture, different states, we are not able to create everything, because hypothetically, if you want to create everything in regional language, how many regional languages we have? It is almost impossible. And even if you convert, what about the ready-made tools which are there only in English? So obviously, it's not about medium. Look, medium is about language. I never consider that those who speak good English or those who know English, they are more knowledgeable or more skills. If you know Marathi, if you know Gujarati or know Hindi, and if you don't know English, that doesn't mean you are not a skilled person. So that is a myth. Look, we must realize that English is simply a language, and it is not a sign of scholarship. So even if you are even if you have studied, or even if you are studying in a regional language or vernacular language, I think it has nothing to do with knowledge. But yes, even if you are in vernacular language in any field, you have to sharpen your skills of English language. In 21st century, as per UNESCO, two skills are required in whatever field you are, whether you are engineer, doctor, in any field, English and digital. So ICT skills and English language are essential to be successful in any field, not only in teaching.
Thank you, sir. These are all the questions. And I now would like to introduce our chairperson of the first session, Dr. Zedan Patil.
Yes.
Professor Zedan Patil is the president of LTI
Namaste,
Pune
sir.
chapter. He has been teaching English language and literature at several schools, colleges, institutes, centers, and universities in India and abroad for 47 years. He has retired as a professor of English and head of the Department of Training and Development, English and Foreign Languages, University Hyderabad, India. Since then, he has been freelancing in India and abroad. He was awarded British Council Scholarship in 1990 and did a diploma in MA in TESOL from University of Edinburgh, UK. His areas of interest are English, language teaching, pragmatics, stylistics, teaching language through literature, teaching English to multilingual and multicultural groups, teaching English to speakers of other languages, using support materials to teach English, employability skills, motivation.
Covering letter.
Classroom management, teacher development, materials development, and new varieties of English. Professor Patil has to his credit 20 textbooks, 8 resource books, and 80 articles published in national and international journals. He has successfully guided 10 MPhil and 24 PhD research scholars. Presently, 2 more are working under him for their PhD dissertation. He has evaluated more than 50 PhD theses submitted in Indian and foreign universities. He has delivered sponsored 32 invited keynote addresses and 78 plenary talks at national and international conferences in several countries, and delivered special talks and conducted workshops for students and teachers at universities in Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Nepal, Singapore, Thailand, United Kingdom, and Vietnam. Professor Patil has worked as an English language expert on the behalf of the Ministry of Affairs, Government of India, Vietnam, Japan, and Taiwan on educational assignments. He has received the Lifetime Membership Award and Lifetime Achievement Award from several reputed bodies and Best Educationist Award from International Institute of Management and Education, New Delhi, and Maharashtra Bhushan Rajarshi Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj State Level Award for Excellence in Education from Millions and Nashik. We are indeed fortunate to have an expert like you amongst us today, sir, and I welcome you to deliver your chairperson's address. Over to Dr. Patil.
Sir, you are muted.
Dr. Patil has been muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're clear now. Audible.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am, for a very elaborate introduction. I don't know whether I deserve to be introduced in that way, but thanks a lot anyway for that matter.
So you deserve much more.
So kind of you. So at the very outset, I'd like to congratulate your institution on organizing a wonderful webinar on a very significant topic. And I congratulate my friend, Professor Ravia, on having delivered a beautiful, comprehensive, interesting, and informative presentation. However, I'd like to raise a few points, and you don't have to answer these things or answer these questions. Number one, when you were talking, I was reminded of Coleridge. Coleridge once said that if we really want to understand and appreciate literature, we need to suspend our disbeliefs for the time being. So he was an advocate of willing suspension of disbelief. Without willing suspension of disbelief, we can't really understand and appreciate literature or any work of art for that matter. In the same way, this temporary suspension of face-to-face classrooms has given us an opportunity to understand the nature and role of, digital literacy, nature and role of how education, nature and role of the internet, the WhatsApp, etc., and so on and so forth. That's number one. So I was reminded of Coleridge. I was also reminded, when I was listening to him, I was reminded of Charlie Chaplin, in his great speech that he delivers at the end of The Great Dictator, which is a movie on Hitler. He says, we think too much and we feel too little. And he also talks about, machinery. He says that more than machinery, we need humanity. He says that more than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. And I think this element will be missing if we go for an extensive and intensive use of machinery, such as, or equipment like laptop and mobile phone and so on and so forth. I'm not denying the fact that these gadgets are useful. They are useful. They are very much useful, especially in circumstances like these. So I was reminded of Coleridge, I was reminded of Charlie Chaplin, and he also referred to, exponential explosion of information and knowledge. Yes, these things are important, but wisdom is more important, kindness is important. So information and knowledge gave us Einstein, but wisdom and kindness and gentleness gave us Mother Teresa and Baba Amte and Prakash Amte. So I think this pandemic has taught us a big lesson, and the lesson is not only in terms of how to educate our boys and girls, what kind of gadgets should we be using and all that, but also about what kind of material should be used and how these materials should be delivered in the classroom and so on and so forth. So what Coleridge said can be applied in this context. What Charlie Chaplin said can be applied in this context. Now, I would also like to compare these two scenarios. On the one hand, we have classroom, face-to-face classroom interaction. On the other hand, we have virtual classroom interaction. Now, people have been watching documentaries on tourism, but that doesn't mean that people don't go abroad to see places. People do go abroad to see places, though lots of documentaries are available on travel and tourism and so on and so forth. Now, this pandemic has taught us huge lessons and several lessons, not just one or two or three lessons, but several lessons. Now, I'm a little bit worried about the use of ICT in rural context. And there were a few questions about the use of ICT in rural sector, in villages, in small towns, for example. Accessibility is one important issue. To how many people are these gadgets and are these equipment available or accessible? Are these things accessible in villages? Are they available in villages? Are they affordable to poor families? And the issue of equity is also important. The issue of quality is important. The issue of digital divide is important. There is no denying the fact that innovation is going to take place, or innovations are going to happen because of this pandemic. And several stakeholders are going to collaborate. For example, mobile network providers, service providers, educational professionals, government bodies, all these people are going to come together and work together and innovate things and think of new ways of imparting education or educating boys and girls. Thank you very much. I was impressed by the webinar, and I must congratulate the organizers of this webinar, and I must congratulate the speaker on a wonderful delivery presentation. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Patil, for having chaired the first session. And I now...
sorry for interruption, ma'am, because I've been sitting here for about 90 minutes. So it will be difficult for me, not for me, but for my gadgets and the internet facility and all that, to continue listening to you. I know I'm going to miss a very good presentation. I know Mahapatra ji very well. He's a very competent person. He's a very well-read person and a wonderful teacher. I've heard so many good reports of his performances in Hyderabad and in different parts of the country and even abroad. So Mahapatra ji, you will have to excuse me. I'll listen to your recorded version later.
So we are honored to have both you and Dr. Ravia on our webinar this morning.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to answer to our call and addressing the webinar over here, for having chaired the session so well. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravia and Professor Patil. And now this is the end of the first session. And to begin the next plenary session, I welcome Dr. Manjushri Deshpande to begin the next session. Over to Manjushri.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to the second plenary session. It is indeed a proud privilege for me to introduce you to a dynamic, young, industrious, erudite, and a very resourceful academician, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra. Santosh Mahapatra is an assistant professor at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus. He teaches EAP to undergraduate and master's students and guides doctoral research. Santosh Mahapatra did his MPhil in English language education with English for Science and Technology as the area of specialization, and has completed his PhD in English language teaching with language assessment literacy as the area of specialization at the University of Hyderabad. Before joining BITS Pilani, he taught MCA and integrated master's students at the University of Hyderabad and worked as a teaching assistant at the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad. His current research interests are tracer studies related to ESL teacher development in technology integration and classroom assessment, and critical analysis of English language education policies and practices. He has completed 2 research projects funded by British Council using CEFR-based bilingual rating scales to improve the writing ability of ESL learners, and APTIS, Action Research Mentoring Scheme. His online projects include consultancy for British Council, where he's the assistant coordinator for APTIS, Action Research Mentoring Scheme, and the other project, an evaluative study of ESP programs in India, which is sponsored by BITS Pilani. He has written several articles in prestigious academic journals. He has contributed chapters in books of reputed publications. He has presented papers in national and international seminars and conferences and has been invited for talks, conducted workshops, and many national and international platforms. He has an awards and achievements galore. I will just read out a few. A travel grant by British Council to attend annual education symposium held in Kathmandu on January 14, 2019. Then Trinity College London Language Examination Fellowship for ITFL in 2018. AARMS grant by British Council for a teacher mentoring project in February 2017. ELTREP grant by British Council for a funded project in 2015. A scholarship by RELO, that is US Embassy in New Delhi, to participate to the RELO e-teacher alumni workshop conducted at EFL University, Hyderabad. A grant by RELO to conduct a workshop for a group of English teachers in Hyderabad. Then he has received a grant by RELO to conduct a workshop for a group of English teachers in Karimnagar. He has also received a grant by RELO to conduct a workshop at NELTA International Conference, Kathmandu. A scholarship by RELO to participate in the RELO e-teacher alumni workshop conducted at EFL University, Hyderabad. He has also received an e-teacher scholarship by RELO to participate in exploring Web 2.0 tools for classroom teaching and professional development, an online course by Michael Cross of Lewis and Clark College. He was sponsored jointly by British Council and RELO to attend the International English Language Teacher Educators Conference in 2013. He has also received an e-teacher scholarship by RELO.
We can stop and
to participate in EFL assessment course from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. That is indeed an impressive profile. And we are all enthusiastic and get up to listen to you, sir. I would now request Dr. Santosh Mahapadra to commence his session on digital literacy. Thank you, sir.
Just one second. Okay, thanks. That was a long introduction and very...
Yeah, and before you begin the session, let me tell everybody that the chairperson for today's, for this plenary session is Dr. Urmila Dabir, a very impressive personality. She is the principal of Rajkumar Keval Ramani College. She is the Board of Studies member of RTM Nagpur University. And over to you, sir.
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be talking about digital literacy for English language teachers. And this webinar or this presentation will be slightly different from what you have been listening to or you have been attending for in this during this COVID times. So I will not talk about web tools. I will not talk about technology as such directly. I will not discuss technological tools or digital tools with you. But I will talk about digital literacy, and my aim will be, let's go to the next slide and check what I'll be doing. So what I plan to do is I'll start with why fishing and why not fish. That'll be the first thing. I'm not disclosing what I'm going to talk about in that and in what context. And then we'll talk about a framework for using digital tools. This is my own framework, which I have created. And for this session, I thought about it long back, but this is first time I'm using it in a public platform. And then we'll talk about how to use the framework. And then the last one will be becoming digitally literate and independent. Because there's no point staying dependent on people, staying dependent on a lot of other things like funding and all that. So how to become independent and how to be digitally literate. These are the two things we'll be arriving at the end of this presentation. So let's start with this. Okay, why fishing and why not fish? So by fishing, I mean by fish, I mean this, and by fishing, I mean this. So what I'm trying to say is that you can learn. These are a lot of digital tools, and somebody is saying how to use these tools, and somebody is giving you these tools, and you attend webinars. You learn how to use these tools, and you go home and start using these tools. Right? This is one way of looking at it. I would call it fish. Okay, buying fish. The next one will be thinking about the tools, thinking about going to YouTube, Googling, finding stuff related to what you are teaching, what you are doing, what your learners are doing, where you are placed, which school you are teaching, the internet connection you have, a lot of other things like, all these things you think about, and then decide which tool will be appropriate. Try this one, try that one, try that one, then try that one. But finally, what you get will be really, really useful because you know how to use this and you have come through a process. You have arrived at it through a process of trial and error, which is really good because you have been through this. It's not somebody else's lived experience through which you have gained this, you have learned this, or you have learned to use this. It's through your own lived experience you have learned to use this. So there is a difference when I tell you these are the tools and go back and use them for reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary and all. Another way is to you go back, struggle, take more time, find out how it works, and then find something that is more interesting, that is working, that is not working, that is saving time, that is not saving time, something that is difficult to learn, something that is easy to learn, something you can easily use in the classroom, something which is difficult to use, something you can pay for, something you cannot pay for. All these things you take into account and finally you learn. So I guess most of us would not prefer learning fishing. Most of us would like to buy fish. I mean, just eat it. Why would I learn fishing? But I'm saying that there are wonderful things that you can achieve by learning fishing. So what I'm suggesting here is learn to explore digital tools on your own rather than taking it from somebody. Don't go to experts, don't go to any, you can listen to experts, not saying that you don't need experts, you do need experts. You do need webinars, you do need discussions, but I'm saying go through the process of learning fishing. And then you realize how wonderful your integration will be. You will know when you buy fish and bring home, when you get tools and take home, it will be using tools. When you learn to how this tool, that tool, experience all those things, go through a lot of problems and choose your tools, when you take there and use it, it's like it'll perfectly fit into your context and it'll work really well. So it's very important to learn how to fish, not just buy fish and take home. There is some amount of pleasure, there's some amount of satisfaction. It's much more effective, believe me. This has happened to me, this has happened to a lot of people. People can vouch for it. So go for learning fishing rather than just buying fish. It's not being dependent is not a good thing. Let's try to be very independent as we can, and that helps. Yeah, that's my happy face when I learn fishing. Okay, next is this is my framework which I'll be talking about. Okay, and the first stage of my framework is start with thinking about your syllabus. When I'm talking about syllabus, I'm talking about the language skills and components you think that are included in the syllabus, because language syllabuses are all about language skills and components. We'll be talking about in terms of listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. I don't think there is anything else. So these are the things in the prescribed syllabus. If it goes beyond language teaching, it gets into soft skills and all. These are different things, but we are talking about language skills, so I'll limit my discussion to language skills. Other things you can think about. I'm sure there are ways of thinking about. Let's focus on this. So if you have a syllabus, start with the syllabus and think about these are the skills and components I have in the syllabus. Make a list of all the skills and syllabus you have. I'm talking about how to use digital tools, how to become independent, and how to learn fishing. This is what I'm going to teach you. And talk about. Next one is to go to the next stage, which is think about how your students use digital tools, think about their digital habits. I call them digital habits because they engage themselves in a lot of digital activities, such as they post on social media, they chat, they do a lot of things. They use software, they play games, they use mobile technology. A lot of things they do. They make small mobile videos, TikToks, lots of things they do. So learn these habits of students. I'm talking about students' digital habits. Make a list of how your students use digital tools and platforms. Make a list of all those things. This is the second thing you should be doing. Once you are aware, the next thing starts with your knowledge about tools. That means tools you are familiar with. I don't think today you are not familiar with Gmail, you are not familiar with Google Docs. If you're not, maybe you should be familiar with. So think about what are the things you are familiar with, right? So you can make a list of things. You use WhatsApp, you use Facebook, you use Instagram, you use Twitter. All of you are digitally very active teachers, all of us, right? So all of us use so much of social media every day. Every day you are on phone, messaging people, doing a lot of things. So think about what are the things you do, okay? The next one is very important. That is doing the math. See, what are the things that match? What are the things students do and you do, and how many things match one thing? Think about the tools you don't know and they know, like gaming and all, you may not be knowing. The software use and video editing, audio editing, you might not be knowing, they might be knowing. Maybe you don't know how to use MS Word for a lot of purposes, maybe they know. Maybe, so do the math. These are the things they know, these are the things I know, this is the syllabus, these are the skills and sub skills we have in the syllabus, and make a list of all those things. Create a mind map, on a big, on a large piece of paper, create a mind map, put all these things at one place, okay? And then think about what is feasible and what is effective. If by effective, I mean things that can help you save your time and energy and help your learners learn a lot of things. I'm talking about in terms of language skills. And think about what is feasible. Can you pay for it? Can you learn it? Do you have time to master the use of a particular kind of technology, particular kind of digital tool? Do you have resources? If you don't have, can you access those things? Can your institution support you? Can other people support you? Is there a platform which is offering things, offering you things which you can afford or which you can have access to? So think about what is feasible. Can you use that tool in the classroom? Is it feasible? So that's the next question. Once you know that it is effective, it is going to help me and my students in learning language. And next thing is whether I can afford it, whether I have time, whether I have energy, whether I can afford it. These are the things you need to think about. And whether it will be too much of a workload for me or it will be something my students will enjoy, I will enjoy, and it will reduce my workload. Because I, as a teacher, always keep thinking about whether technology will help me make learning more effective and reduce my workload a bit, because I want to reduce my workload. I don't want to overwork and get paid the same salary. So the next thing is, after you think about that, think about if you need professional development, because there are tools you might need and those are very useful because they are related to, they can help you teach the prescribed language skills and components more effectively. So you need to think whether you need a professional development platform, or you need to undergo some kind of training or pursue professional development in some way. Okay, and or you can explore new tools in what way. How do I learn the new tools? So think about what are the tools you need to learn, or what are the tools which are necessary for you, but you don't know about. How to learn to use those tools. Make a list of those. The next stage is the last stage, where we talk about integration. Once you learn through a PD, through a professional development program, through a training program, through a workshop, some webinar, somewhere you learn, then think about whether you can integrate those things to your classroom, whether you can do this. Integrate doesn't mean using. Integrate means I'm teaching. Addition of this kind of tool will make my teaching more effective. That is why I'm using it, not because my college wants me to use digital tools. I don't think that's a very good reason. That's like pushing me into water when I don't know swimming. So I don't like that. I think there's a problem with that kind of policy also. Very problematic. So it should be, ideally in research, you can find that integration always works when teacher sees the utility of a tool and sees that this tool or these tools will make my teaching and students learning more effective. Then you go for, you learn those tools and try implementing them or integrating them to your classroom teaching. What happens then? In the process, you also need to learn to stay updated, to stay on platforms which are active and which give you proper information, to stay in touch with people who are trendsetters, who are talking about technology, who have platforms, who are doing research. Stay with them, talk to them regularly, be on platforms, and become independent. So with becoming digitally literate, you also need to be digitally independent. Next one is I'm happy. That's my face. Next one. So how do I utilize the framework? How do I use this framework? I would go with this kind of thing. Let's take an example. So let's say you, as a teacher, as an English teacher, English language teacher, you are teaching undergraduate commerce students, and you are teaching them writing academic essays and formatting documents, making academic presentations, and making academic conversations. So you need to teach them academic conversation skills, and then reading academic text. These are, let's say roughly, these are the skills you are going to teach your students, you are required to teach. So if you have this syllabus in your mind, then you look for what are the things students do. In your students do. Maybe your students use smartphones. One thing is clear. They use maybe cameras also. They use, some of them have laptops, but not all. But this is very important because Patil sir a while ago was talking about social justice, equity, access, and digital divide. These are important things. But some people have laptops, they can do a lot of things. So you cannot give a classroom task which involve using laptops, because not everybody has access to laptops. You cannot carry out an online assessment because not everybody has access to high-speed internet. This is injustice. So we must avoid social injustice, digital divide, where people have access to good smartphones, people do not have access to good smartphones. So giving marks on the basis of recordings, videos, or on the basis of photographs and all can be really, really tricky, can be very unfair to some of the students. So must be thinking, as teachers, I know all of you are very sensible and you understand the context really well. You are very aware of these things. So these are things you need to think about. And then some people are very active on Instagram, some may not be. Most of your students and you are on Facebook. So maybe you should be thinking about Facebook. Note down, yeah, Facebook is one of their habits. TikTok is a habit also, a lot of students. And then WhatsApp. So make a list of all these things. But the next thing is to know what you know. T means here, I mean teacher. What are the things you know? You know Google Docs, how to use Google Docs. Let's say you know Moodle, you know YouTube, you know WhatsApp, you know Facebook. These are things you know. So certain things are already matched. Maybe you can build on these tools to begin with and then think about new tools. But if you think that these are not enough for me to teach all the skills that are prescribed in the syllabus, what do I do? Next thing I will be thinking about, I'm doing the math. What by that I mean, writing essays will can be done on Google Docs. Okay, so I'm set. Next one is formatting. I'm not familiar how to teach formatting, academic formatting, like following style sheets like APA, MLA, and all. And the next one is presentation. I know YouTube, but YouTube may involve privacy issues where you cannot put a video of a student on YouTube and you need permission from the students. And there are a lot of other issues involved. If somebody says something, nasty comments and all, how do I moderate and all? And if you don't allow comments, how will you give feedback? So there are a lot of issues with you posting presentations on YouTube or using YouTube for assessing presentation skills. Next one is conversation skills, and I'm not sure what tools I can use. Can I use WhatsApp? Can I use Google Hangout? Can I use Zoom? So I'm not sure what are the tools I need. Reading skills, I'm not familiar how to use. I mean, like how I can make my teaching of reading more effective. I'm not very sure. Let's say I'm just giving you a math. This is a teacher. I'm taking a hypothetical teacher, a hypothetical syllabus, hypothetical set of students, and giving you this math. So if this is your math, I'll go to the next slide and tell you, PD required? Yeah, sure, yes. I'm not really happy because I'm saying yes, but yes, required. I can't escape. So what do? So I start with, let's say I rate my priorities. So I need first priorities. I need to find something that can help me teach reading comprehension skills, academic reading comprehension skills more effectively. Okay. So now I think about what are the tools available, how do I find, how do I access, what do I do, and all that. I do this, really require how much, where, what, all that. Priority number 2, I have tools for improving conversation skills I need. When, how, where, what are the things I need. So these are the things you PD required, yes. But how do I, what are the things for which I need PD? You need to, make a list and rate priority wise, make a list at the top, the highest priority, and at the bottom lowest. So go with the top priority and learn the first thing, and then go to the next one and learn, make a schedule out of it, and then start learning. So, so before going to a webinar, write to the person who is conducting webinar, ask the person, what are you doing? What are you going to talk about? What is the focus? And go for workshops, which are hands-on. I don't think webinars help much unless they're hands-on. Hands-on means you sit with a laptop or mobile phone and learn how to use mobile technology or laptop technology. Otherwise, just learning from this, it will take a lot of time. Maybe hands-on is much more effective. Then what do? I have finding a productive direction. I need to think about how do I get the PD done? How do I get into, how do I get to pursue professional development? What do? Then what I do, I come up with the first thing. First thing, my strategy will be, I'm saying that you can have multiple strategies. These are only a few, which I'm going to discuss, which are, I think all of you are familiar, but you need to think about systematically about these strategies. First one, ask colleagues and known experts, people like the first presenter who presented. You can ask him because he might be familiar with tools. Some of your colleagues might be really familiar with tools. So ask them if they know certain digital tools which can help you teach reading comprehension skills really, really well, or conversation skills really well. So you ask them and make a list of all the suggestions they're giving, but do not accept what your expert is saying, what your friend is saying. Don't accept directly. Don't go to the classroom with those tools. I don't think that's a wise idea. I don't accept what I'm saying directly. What you need to do, you go back, read and verify. Okay. Go online, go to YouTube, go to Google, read and verify the tools suggested by and go for the review of the tools. By read and verify, I'm saying, let's say somebody says, go for SpiderScribe, go for Padlet. These are tools generally used for mind mapping. Okay, SpiderScribe and Padlet. So I'll go and say that SpiderScribe review, Padlet review, or SpiderScribe versus Padlet review. And you go to Quora and ask questions. Create an account in Quora. Quora is a very good platform. Create an account in Quora. Ask this question: do you think I can do this in my classroom using this? How feasible and how effective will it be? Ask this question. Read, verify, read reports. Then decide what tools you need to use. Next one is find the right platform on Twitter and Facebook. You must join Twitter and Facebook. If you think you want to be digital literate, these are two great platforms. So join Twitter, join Facebook. On Twitter, follow people who talk about technology, who talk about technology integration, who talk about digital literacy, who talk about tools for classroom teaching. Join them. You will find plenty of them out there who are doing wonderful work, and you will have plenty of webinars, sources, talks, discussion. Stay active on Twitter and join Facebook platforms. Like I am active on one platform where we have around 4,000 teachers right now. It's called Elta India. I'll show you a screenshot later. So join that platform, okay? And see if you can benefit from that platform, because a lot of people post a lot of things about a lot of digital tools and all. Very active people are there on the platform. So why not engage with them, be with them, and learn from each other? That's a wonderful thing, idea you can adopt. Next one is do a paid or sponsored course, because sometimes Cambridge offers paid courses. Sponsored courses are offered generally by Relo, and you can carry out some projects, funded projects with British Council support. And like I did earlier, Action Research Mentoring Scheme, which is a brilliant platform, and we help a lot of teachers learn these skills, and maybe general language teaching skills, assessment skills, maybe also digital literacy tools that can help you become digital literate. So learn those things on these platforms. Think about, if you have money, then go for paid courses, because they're much more effective. If you don't want to pay, you don't have so much money, then maybe you can do a course with on Coursera, free courses and all, and see if you can attend webinars and find information, and then do all these things. Okay, go for reliable sources like Cambridge, British Council, or Relo, because they're really reliable. And then you can request your institute to help you. If you think digital tools are necessary, which can help you become, and you have identified those tools, maybe there is some amount of money the institute can support you with, and then you can use those paid software in your classroom or on different platforms, mobile and laptops. So you need to ask, request the institute. If your institute can afford, if they see value in your suggestion, your demand, maybe they will also talk to some experts and find out about your request, and maybe they will allow you. They want learning to be more effective. I'm sure the principals who are here will agree with me. And so they will definitely help you. So go for it. Then we have YouTube, Google. These are two great platforms. Always Google, always go to YouTube and type your query, and you will learn a lot of things. One more thing is, then what do I do? Then these are the things I need to learn. So what are the things I need to learn? First, formatting on MS Word. If I want to learn formatting, I can use MS Word to learn formatting, like APA style. I can learn referencing, citations, formatting. All those things can be learned on MS Word. It's a free platform. Everybody has MS Word. So all of us, we can learn this. Who can teach you? You need to hire somebody, pay money to that guy, and get the guy to teach you how to use MS Word for this. Or if somebody is teaching for free, one of the teachers knows how to do this, well and good, go for it. But learn how to do this, because this will help you also publish your journals and articles, in journal articles and book chapters and all. Next one is, let's say, classroom engagement. So learn Mentimeter, learn polls everywhere. There are a lot of other tools which are available for classroom. Inside the classroom, if your students have mobile phones, you can use Mentimeter, you can use poll everywhere. So there are a lot of other polling tools, which are called polling tools. You can use them. Clickers, a lot of tools are there. So choose your tool and see which one you are more comfortable with, you like, use that. Next one is, think about conversation skills. How do I do this? I can take avatars on Vocaro and use this. I can create a skit and record it and put it on YouTube. I can do this. Or I can use WhatsApp voice messaging for conversations. This is an amazing thing. People can do that. And rather than sending messages, you can always ask your students to send voice messages to each other. And that will be really, really good. Listening to voices, responding to voices. And this is wonderful conversation happening and very smooth. It's very private. Next one is, let's say, class notes. teaching how to use class notes at the end of the class. You can use podcasting, you can create podcasts and share with students. What you taught in a class can be summarized and in the form of MP3. You can upload on a WhatsApp group or anywhere, a group you have, and share with them the podcast. So you can have a blog where you can put all your podcasts, whatever you're teaching on them, based on the basis of those, you can develop podcasts and share with all your learners. This is very simple, very affordable ideas. Next one is training learners. How do I train learners? How do I train them how to use this technology, that tool, this, that, and all? How do I do that? I can use Flashback Express, which is a kind of screen recording tool, or I can use Paint, which like I can click on print screen, PRT and SCR. There is a key on laptop. I can use screen sharing and screenshots. I can keep. That's a wonderful tool to teach students how to use a particular digital tool. Do that. Or you can say, I want to teach them reading comprehension and note taking. You can use Padlet, you can use a Google form, you can use a Moodle, you can use a Spider Scribe, up to you. So I'm just giving you examples. These are the things I arrive at. Let's say the teacher arrives at, these are the tools the teacher needs to learn. From all sources, all reading, all research, the teacher arrives at these things. So now the teacher needs to learn these things. How? You need to find out how. It may not be the same for all of us. So my question here is, I need to think about constraint and affordances, what I can afford, what are the difficulties, what are the feasibilities, all those things you need to do a little more math here also before you decide these analyze these are the things. And ask on Twitter who can teach me this, where I can learn this, where I can learn that. People will provide you with links. So that's a wonderful way to do it. Cheap and easy. It doesn't cost you. It's free. So the next question for me was whether does the process have an end? You can ask, shall I stop here or do something? Unfortunately, no. But I'm smiling because I think that's life. It's all about the first guest speaker who came, who delivered his presentation earlier. He talked about the same thing, right? He talked about you need to learn, and we are all learners. We need to keep learning. So I need to smile and learn, because if I'm grumpy, maybe I will not be able to learn much. So I'll smile, I'll keep makeup, and mentally I'll be ready and I'll start enjoying these things. I will convince myself that learning is the only way forward. And that's the way you can keep up with all the current trends and all, and you can be a very good teacher. So there's no end to it. What is the next thing? So let's talk about being digitally literate and independent. I have several offers for you. The first offer is basic, which is free, which is you can ask colleagues, you can ask experts, you can ask people around. You can, you feel happy about that. Just ask people, whatever they suggest, use. That's very basic digital literacy for me, and it comes for free. Next one is regular. Okay, there is another offer for you from my side, which is also free. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, it comes with, you can Google and you possess some active accounts on Facebook and Twitter and talk to students regularly on social media. If you do that, then you know their digital habits and you can stay engaged. You can connect with them really well. And it's very important to maintain connection. Be kind. This is what Patil sir was talking about. Be kind to them, be nice to them, be with them. So yes, and then not so content. I'm not really happy. I want to learn more. Then I have a next offer. This is a pro offer. Wow, is this free? Yay, this is free too. What am I learning? I'm learning how to Google and find required info on my own. Active on social media, I am. And I'm following research on digital tools. I'm reading research on digital tools. And I'm engaging with students on social media. Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm a pro. Is this end, or do I have anything more to offer? I have one more. This is the ultimate package. If you want to buy, I think it costs money. No, it doesn't. It's free. What do? You stay updated. You know how to access those sources. You publish in international journals regularly. You do research on your own. At your institute, you learn things and lead the trend. That means you are in a position to tell others what they can do in their classroom. You can help others analyze their situation. If you are able to do the first three, then you can lead the trend, definitely. So here you go. Sorry. So what do I do? So let's know about your plan. Okay. Okay, can you go to menti.com? You have a mobile phone or a laptop. Can you go to menti.com and type 262929? 262969. Menti.com. Can you go to menti.com? 262969. Can you enter what you think? What's your plan? Menti.com 262969. Can you do this right away? We can start with our team. I think other presenters. Hey, one is there. Somebody is here to learn fishing. That's good news. Anybody else? Everybody is learning fishing. Wow, I'm so happy. 4. Wow. Take time and decide. That's not bad. Yes. You're a little skeptical about what I'm saying. That's a good thing because you can verify and do it. I'm happy that you're doing this. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Somebody wanted to try keep buying fish. Okay, I don't mind that. It's fine. Okay, so we have a lot of people who want to learn fishing and not keep buying fish and not take too much time to decide. So people want to do this. Okay, let's go to the next one and see. In terms of digital literacy, I want to attend this level, the same pin 262969. Can you give your choice? I'm so happy that so many people want to attend the ultimate level. Wow, this is really cool. I don't mind basic level because if you are not really into technology, you are not really digitally literate, maybe it's a good thing to start with basic, then go to regular, then go to pro, and finally to ultimate. But if you want to target ultimate, it's a very good thing because that will keep motivating you and you can do a lot with that. I feel that's a good thing. Not bad. Okay, because all these options have values of their own. Why you are choosing, you might have a very good reason. So it's perfectly all right to choose, one of these options. There is nothing, but it's good to really good. I feel good that you want to attend ultimate level. So let's go back to the presentation. I think we are getting a feedback almost, which is, yep. So and You can reach out to me on my profile, which is just type Santosh Bits Pilani Hyderabad. You will get the phone number, the email ID, everything is there. So you can reach out. Phone number, it may not be reachable. You can directly write a mail because the office is closed right now. I'm not going to my office. This is my office number. You can, once the college opens, you can call me on that. That's my email ID. You can contact me on that. Santosh@hyderabad.bits. -pilani.ac. We have to check. It's not like other company email IDs where people never check. I check it 100 times every day. So I will get your mail. Or you can, and also you should join me on this because I manage this forum, but there are around 4,000 teachers on this forum, and this is perhaps the most active ELT group on language teaching group on from India on Facebook. This is Alta India. You can join this and you can be a part of it. So this is the picture you will get so that you can identify. I'm giving you a sneak peek. And then this is, you can join me on Santosh @Santosh EFLU. That's my Twitter profile. You can join me there. And we can talk on Twitter also. And see you soon. That's it from my side. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir, Santosh sir. All the chats I have read, and most of the people have said it was a wonderful session, and they say that all these tools are not only useful for English, but they can use it for all the other subjects also. And there are some questions I would like you to answer. Most of the questions are based on students from rural areas and tribal areas, and they want to know whether you have worked with people from difficult backgrounds, and do you have any any experience, and what are the difficulties and challenges you have faced, and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, I have taught students from rural areas. Right now, I'm teaching a course, online course offered by BITS to a lot of students, a batch of 50 students from rural areas. I'm teaching them English. They have very basic language skills. They cannot speak, most of them cannot speak English at all, almost. So I am teaching, I have been teaching those students, and I try to learn their language because I'm not a Telugu speaker as such, but I have learned basic Telugu to adjust to their demands so that we have a rapport, and they like me and I like them because of that. Because those few Telugu words that I use in the class, those words motivate them a lot, and we connect really well. And talking about digital platforms with such students, we use basic mobile phones where we record conversations on WhatsApp. I share with them voice messages on WhatsApp. So these are the, and I ask them to call me anytime during the day. I mean, I want to keep myself free for them. You can do that so that they can call you and talk to you. If they're school students, they may not have mobile phones. It's important to sit with them in the class, listen to them very carefully, because there are a lot of issues we ignore because we are doing a job and we are teaching 6-7 classes sometimes. So maybe we are under a lot of pressure, but sometimes you think that those kids also deserve to learn things. So maybe we can be a little more kind. Maybe you had a fight with your spouse, you had a fight with your wife or husband, a loud fight, and you come to school and you don't know how to control this. But maybe you need to tell yourself today, even if I have fight, you curse your husband, curse your wife, but go to the children with a smiling face and talk to them nicely. Say that, okay, I had a fight. Let me tell you why we fought. You begin with that, maybe that kind of thing. Try to make it light. It works.
Sir, and many of them have put this question. Bipasha Ghoshal from Danvate National College, she says, in India, internet connectivity is not strong compared to US, UK, and then with large classrooms, how is it possible?
See,
connectivity issues there.
I agree. Yes, I do agree. Connectivity is a big issue. So that's why I talked about affordances and constraints. That's why I will use technology which may not require high-speed internet, which may require just playing the video and all, sharing the video and all, but not really sharing on a platform and all, because you may not be able to see or watch them whatever. So what I will do in those settings, I will maybe record their classroom activities, ask them to engage in role plays. I can record their sessions, and I can create a private YouTube channel, and I can keep it there. Whenever they have time, they have internet, they can watch it. And you can create a blog and maintain the entire classroom activities, all those videos, audio, anything that is happening, you can put it there. You can record your own teaching for professional development and keep it in a private YouTube channel or on a blog and share with others. There are a lot of ways you can explore. If you want to talk about it, I think you should join ELTA India. Ask this question: how do I do this? Put the same question there. Maybe there will be a lot more suggestions from a lot of people. You will be able to, benefit.
Thank you, sir. Actually, you talked about inculcating digital habits, but most of us have faced this problem that students are not motivated enough to even bring a textbook to the class. So, how do we inculcate these digital habits in our children?
See, first is about knowing them on Facebook, knowing them on Instagram, knowing them on Twitter, and knowing them on WhatsApp. So let's begin with that. Let's talk to them on WhatsApp. Let's be a little more friendly. Let's more engage with them personally at a personal level. Talk to them a little more on social media. If you have a connection on social media, they will open up to you. And instead of you posting heavy books every day, taking a book to the class, maybe the book can come in the form of a PDF. Which can be shared with them on a mobile phone. I'm saying that not that you like some, let's say Facebook is a bad habit. It's not really a great habit, and using a bad habit to promote learning is not a good thing. I totally agree with that. But if you think that this is the trend forward and there is no looking back, you cannot go back to Stone Age when you don't have those phones, smartphones, you don't have internet, you don't have anything. You cannot go back to that stage. This is not the way forward. So maybe engage with them on social media, on other platforms, talk to them more, give them something like a book or an article, or write a blog on the same subject and share with them, and ask them, I have put something interesting, put their pictures, engage them in some way, ask them, have a question answer session, record it and put it on your blog so that they see themselves. That will bring a lot of engagement in the classroom.
Thank you, sir. Last question. Rishabh Polvenkar, he wants you to suggest some evaluation tools, evaluation and tracking tools.
Generally, I will talk about things I use for my students here. And those are very easy tools and everybody can use, and they are free generally. So let's say for presentations, I generally use something called VoiceThread, VoiceThread, VoiceThread. I have a research paper on that also. I'll share with you. There is an article. Give me 1 second. This is an article I published. This is an international journal article which I have published recently. It's a prestigious international journal, RELC. So here I have talked about a lot of tools which I have trained students in. And this talk is based on this paper, in fact, what I have done. I have moved from their experience. These are the tools I have talked about. So here, this is called VoiceThread. Okay, this is the tool you can use for teaching. What is this? Yes, this is the tool VoiceThread you can use for teaching them assessing presentation. For writing assessment, I use I have PhD students who work on different areas, but I use Google Docs and Drive to give them writing. And when they write, I can check on this. And there are other tools which you can use for, basically what you need to do is, again, post on ELTA India. I think a lot of people will respond to your question. I will, of course, also to suggest more tools. If you write to me, I can know exactly for what purposes you plan to use digital tools and why you want to use it. Will it reduce your workload? Will it help your learners? So why are you using digital tools? Just because your college wants, or there is some other purpose? If there is some other purpose, maybe we should talk about. If you're just your college wants, that's what you are doing. I don't think that's a way forward. That's not.
Thank you, sir. Actually, learning to learn was very aptly put with the example of fishing and fish. And forming the digital habits is really the need of the hour. So your session was really very informative, very motivating, and it has provided food for thought. Let us keep in touch and let us have many more sessions from you. And now we move on to I would now like to request our chairperson for her remarks. But before that, I would like to introduce Dr. Urmila Dabir, our chairperson for this session. Dr. Urmila Dabir is the Principal and Head Department of English, Rajkumar Keval Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. She is a very dynamic and industrious person having a rich teaching experience of 30 years at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. She is a member of Management Council, Senate, Standing Committee, Academic Council, Board of Examinations and Evaluations, Disciplinary Action Committee, RTM Nagpur University. She is an RRC subject expert at Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, and Sant Garge Baba University, Amravati. She is the chairman of the Board of Studies English, RTM Nagpur University. She has been awarded Dr. K. Krishna Kumar Gold Medal for Best Principal, RTM Nagpur University in 2019. She has received the Best Teacher Award in 2013 and Best NSS Program Officer by Government of Maharashtra in 1997-98. She has published 7 books and she has published research papers in international and national journals and conferences. She has organized international, national and state conferences, seminars, workshops. She is also the editor of Synacle, a peer-reviewed journal. And we are really proud to have you here amidst us today, Madam. I would now like to request Dr. Urmila Dabir to deliver the chairperson's remarks.
A very good afternoon to all. It was indeed a pleasure to listen to Dr. Santosh Mahapatra. Your profile was very, very impressive. And I think I should say the same about your presentation also. Dr. Mahapatra highlighted a lot of things. The foremost thing is about the digital tool, that how we can use it. And as he said, it is a process of trial and error. And we have to find out what suits us the most and what suits your classroom teaching also. He rightly said that we would like to have fish, which is a general human tendency, we can say. Then why go in for fishing? But one has to go through the process and learn how the tools work, and then we have to choose it accordingly as per our need for teaching and learning process. And ultimately, it amounts to a lot of pleasure also. Dr. Mahapatra wants to make our teachers independent, which is indeed very, very important. Your presentation has inspired a lot of participants to learn fishing rather than have a fish. I think that is the success of your presentation. Syllabus also plays a vital role in teaching learning process. To use digital tools, one should make use of the digital tools which are required in the prescribed syllabus and as it suits the piece that you are teaching in your classroom. The teacher should also have the knowledge of the tools which are there at their disposal. The tools that the teacher is not familiar or does not know should find out what is most effective, what is feasible, and how it can be used in the process, and how it can be effectively used in the process of teaching, we can say. The most important aspect is whether we can afford it. That is a very pertinent question that you have discussed over here, and whether it suits the workload also. Dr. Mahapatra's framework for using digital tool is very effective, and to be implemented in teaching learning process. He has rightly said that becoming digitally literate will make you digitally independent also, which is very, very important. And as the participants have said that they would like to reach the ultimate level also. It is the need of the hour to rate the priorities, which help the teachers to schedule their teaching. Webinars, workshops will definitely acquaint and familiarize the teachers with technology. Teachers should verify the tools and use according to the suitability and feasibility of their classroom teaching. Today's age, as we know, is the age of information and technology. Every aspect of life is related to science and technology. Huge flow of information is there from different fields to the different parts of the world. The ICT has made this teaching learning process successful and interesting for both students and teachers. The teachers should be familiar with new digital tools to help students to achieve high academic standards. Teachers are the core of any living society, and technologies play an important role in training programs of the teachers, students who access knowledge and information through TV, digital media, internet, social media, etc. Dr. Mahapatra's presentation not only acquaints us with digital tools, but also utility, how teachers have to become independent, and how its utility is effective in the process of teaching learning. It was indeed a pleasure to listen to you. Your presentation was very, very informative. And above all, I can say that it was very practical also. How it suits both the urban students and the rural students. And you have answered all the questions very satisfactorily. And you have a very practical and rich experience of that. So that it is very, very useful for the teachers, both at the urban and the rural areas. I congratulate you, sir, for a wonderful and practical presentation. I thank the organizer for giving me an opportunity to chair such a wonderful session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam. You have really dealt with all the aspects very comprehensively. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request the representative of the EdFly team, Mr. Viral Dedia, to say a few words on the occasion. Mr. Viral is a techie, a hacker, and a serial entrepreneur with 12 plus years of experience in education technology. I welcome you, Mr. Viral.
Hi, good afternoon. Let me begin by sharing my screen. So, firstly, what a wonderful session, a very practical and innovative approach towards learning. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be the part of this session. Thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity to host this session for such a wonderful audience. Let me begin by sharing some facts. So as we talk today, India is the global leader in monthly data consumption. The amount of data that we are consuming every day is 9.8 GB today on an average, which is about 157 times than 5 years back. And the internet has become really cheap. Okay, so one of the cheapest internet services is what we have in India. And with the penetration of mobile internet, with the penetration of mobile phones, I believe that the center of gravity has moved from computers to mobile phones. So with this, like sir suggested earlier, 47% of we Indians have internet connectivity, and most of it is with the youth. Most of it is with the students that you have. So that is most prevalent in the age group of our students. A lot of people have been asking me that why is it that you are interested in e-learning? Why are you investing so heavily on faculty development programs? And especially why now? My investors, my team members, a lot of faculty members have been asking me these questions. So when I started this a month back, when we launched this Edfly Learn platform a month back, uh, I think I can answer them right now. As we talk, I have already got 6 times more subscribers than what I had got in last 10 years. We've been doing e-learning for last 10 years. The amount of subscribers in last 1 month is already gone up by 6 times, and I believe that we'll have a multiplier in coming couple of months. These times have forced all the educators, all our faculty members to adopt technology. These times have given us given us the freedom to upskill ourselves, uh, like Dr. Santosh suggested earlier, where quite a few of us have started fishing for various technologies, have been starting to attend webinars. I'm sure most of us might have attended more number of webinars in the last 1 month or even coming months to go than their lifetime so far. So, so this was my answer that now is the time, and uh, right now we are proved right. Uh, as we talk, we have launched this platform a month back. We've got more than 12,000 subscribers in a month, and the numbers are growing at a hockey curve. And we look forward to having more users. And so far, we have got about 2 terabytes of data, which is curated, 2 terabytes of content, which is curated in the last 1 month, which brings me to our second topic, second issue, which is about security. Every day we hear some news about some lecture that has got hacked, or some content, some users that did mischief, some pranks that have happened, some irrelevant content that is being shared during the lecture times, something or the other that has gone wrong with the lectures uh, during these days. So it is dangerous to have uh, this online lectures the way it is going right now without security. So at Edfly, we have invested in a double layer security. All the users who join the platform join using their OTP verified mobile numbers, which are KYC compliant across the globe. If anything goes wrong, you can go back to the source. All the integrations of these platforms, of these virtual learning platforms, be it Zoom, be it Google Hangout, be it whatever, are secured by our platforms. So only the users who have joined our platforms will be able to access these tools. It's a very easy to use platform. Most of us were going to begin e-learning for the first time. Most of us were going to try these tools for the first time. So for us, it was very important that we make the tool easy. The second aspect that we were looking at is how to make this as engaging as possible, as engaging as the way you have in your real classroom environment. So that was the second aspect. So when you explore the tool, you'll figure out that it's very easy to join the platform. It's very easy to uh, start a lecture, to add content, to add quizzes, to add assignments, to host a lecture, and so on. So uh, and after the end of this session, we might, for those of us who are interested in exploring this platform, we might be able to give some steps. We might be able to share some steps on our WhatsApp groups, from where you'll be able to join the platform. The second important thing that I would want to showcase is, as educators, we are looking forward to maintain our databases. And in these times, especially, uh, having control over the number of students who are attending, having control over the teachers, their workloads, if they have missed any particular schedule and so on, having control over the content, or having push on the teachers on making content and so on. And of course, when you are done teaching, as a teacher, as an institute, you would want to have a control over the results, over the assessment. So these are the few things that you would be able to maintain over our platform. Some advanced things that you can do with the platform is what I've already mentioned. So assignments, advanced course management for institute, content store, assessment. So I will want to show the next thing, which is a typical college structure. This is exactly what you can create. One second. I think quite a few of us are not being able to hear me. Am I audible now? Is this better? I am assuming it is better. So this is the structure that we have replicated onto our platform, so that our existing systems do not change much. I would want to focus on one, I would want to elaborate on one particular topic, which is the content share, the content store that we have created. Quite a few of us have been able to curate content. Not all of us have been able to curate content. At times, maybe because of the infrastructure issues, not all of us have, just hold on for a second. Not all of us have been able to get access to laptops, which is required for curating good quality content. I'm getting a message that I'm not audible. So am I audible now?
Yes, Viral, you're audible. Continue, please.
Okay. So
we are getting comments in the chat box.
Okay. So at the content store, we have put this up. So some of us who can create good quality content and would like to share this with our fellow teachers on board can share this, and our fellow teachers can browse through the content store, whatever is the topic that they would want to teach. They can search for this on the store and find the content. If they find some content which is relevant to their learning, which is relevant for their students, they can import that particular content onto their learning. They can import it with their learning. Security is what I've already spoken about. Rewards and incentivization. So we have about 500 odd teachers who are curating some good quality content on board. If their content is getting downloaded, we have a mechanism where we are going to pay the royalty to those respective teachers. You can track the royalties to your platform. Yesterday, every Tuesday is when we are actually pushing the new versions live. We are constantly working on the platform. I got a message from one of our faculty members that his feedback was not incorporated. He had shared the feedback a week back. And then I showed him the update and he was happy. So all I'm trying to say here is at EdFly, we are committed. I am committed to delivering a seamless e-learning experience. I am committed to providing you all with a platform which is secured, which is easy to use, which is engaging, and a platform that all of us can rely on in future as well. As a company, we are running various programs. We have a beta program for our software where some of our advanced users have started giving us the feedback on how the software runs, and have been representing the faculty community where we are continuously doing the changes as per their suggestions. We are also running content programs on where we are motivating, we are teaching the teachers on how to use various tools and how to curate quality content. So when we are looking at quality content, all we are looking at is, because we know our students, we know the IQ, we know the aptitude that they have. We are looking at curating a content which is good enough for understanding for our students. Okay, so we are conducting various programs on those. We are conducting various faculty development programs with various institutes. So far, we have enrolled 12,000. We have actually conducted faculty development programs for more than 12,000 teachers across the country. With these new times, guidelines for effectivity is also important. Not all of us have favorable learning environment. Even if we have favorable learning environment, we need to guide our faculty members and our students or parents for effectivity. So those new rules are rewritten. We are getting constantly updated with the experiences that our teachers are having or our students are having through our platform. And fifth is collaboration. Various tools we are using have effective learning, and we are collaborating with more and more tools. So far, we have integrated Google Meet, Zoom, and Amazon Chime, and so on. We are also collaborating with other content players who can host their content to our platforms. With this, you can check out our product, which is applylearn.com. Let us know your feedback on the same. As a company, we are a ERP solutions company for schools and colleges only. We have been doing this for a decade now. We have a online admissions and fees collections platform, which is onfees.com, and other modules like HR payroll, library, communications, hostel management, mobile app, transport management, and so on. And we are running for various schools and colleges in the country. With this, I would again thank all of you for giving us this opportunity, the organizers for giving us this opportunity to help you properly to make all of us happier by introducing this. I'm sure we can rely on with the audience who have been very kind, and I hope all of us have benefited from this session. So thank you again. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Viral sir. That was really very informative and valuable information. And before we draw the curtains, let us have the valedictory address. The 21st century brings with it a paradigm shift in the teaching learning methodology. In this age of globalization, everything has become global, whether it is language, culture, business, competition, or advancement. It is imperative to think about it globally. To cater to this techno-savvy generation, the methods of teaching learning needs to be overhauled. It is the need of the hour to concentrate on effective, blended online and distance teaching and learning. ICT is the keyword and requisite to upgrading oneself. There are innovative ways to handle large classrooms, give individual attention to the students, provide to their diverse needs. There is inundation of information and means to gain knowledge. Information and technology literacy is the new phrase for survival, expression, and surging ahead. It has become crucial to integrate the internet into the classroom. The pandemic has emphasized on its importance and necessity. Let's equip ourselves to face the challenges of the times ahead. This webinar has thrown light on the important role of ICT in teaching and learning. On behalf of the organizing committee, I express my gratitude to Dr. Hitesh Ravia sir for having enlightened us on rethinking higher education in India in post-pandemic world. I'm extremely thankful to our chairperson for the first plenary session, Dr. Z.N. Patil sir, for his contemplation and scholarly remarks. I'm grateful to Dr. Santosh Mahapatra sir for helping us understand the skills we need to live, learn, and work in a society where communication and access to information is increasing through digital technologies like internet platforms, social media, and mobile devices. I express my heartfelt thanks to our chairperson of the second plenary session, Dr. Urmila Dabir, for her intellectual deliberations. I am thankful to our advisory board members, Dr. Dharamdas Shende, Dr. Urmila Dabir, Dr. Amol Padwar, Dr. Z.N. Patil, Dr. Albert P. Ryan, and Dr. Jyoti Patil for their support. A special word of thanks for all our patrons, our respected members of the management, for helping us sail smoothly through this endeavor. Our principals have always been a perennial source of inspiration to us. I am extremely thankful to our principals, Dr. Jitendra Herkar, Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar, and Dr. Rajiv Ashtikar for having provided us this platform and helping us organize this webinar. This webinar would not have been possible without the technical support of Team EdFly. Thank you very much, Team EdFly. I am thankful to Mrs. Navya Advani from Dayananda Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya for preparing the brochures. And we received an overwhelming response from you participants. I thank you all for your enthusiastic participation in such a large number. I hope we reached your expectations. Before I conclude, I would just like to remind you to fill the feedback forms and you will then be receiving your certificates. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Manjushri, and thank you, organizers. And I would especially like to thank our principals, Dr. Shraddha Anil Kumar and Dr. Ashtikar sir, Dr. Ahirkar sir, for helping us with technical support. Our principals have been the guiding force, always available for us, giving us a free hand. Every time we were free to call them early hours in the morning, be it any time late in the night, and they have been always available for us. Our chairpersons, our resource persons, they have proved a boon for us, complying with the timings and everything, and always helped us out and sailed us through this webinar. Thank you, dear participants. Thank you, one and all. Madam, would you like to say something? Madam
Yes.
Principal?
This webinar has been very useful. It has addressed important issues. And I thank everyone who has been involved in it to make this grand success. Thanks to all participants also. Thank you. Namaste.
So we sign out here. Thank you, everybody.